has a legal priority for. There's very few people advocating that, right? There are child advocacy groups, but they steer clear of this issue because it runs afoul of religion. And nobody wants to go up against the Catholic Church or the Jehovah's Witnesses for fear of, A, they have some great lawyers. And B, you're going to get...
What Concordance is talking about is, let's say there's a medical issue with the child. Let's say the child has cancer, and the parent says, I'm not going to take the child to hospital, I'm going to pray over the child and expect God to heal the child through prayer. What Concordance is saying is, it's quite complex. Should we have child advocacy where the state comes in and defends the child's rights over against religious conscience? And in terms of that scenario, it wasn't mentioned on the Magic Sandwich Show, but for me, if there's a child who's got cancer and the parent says, I'm not going to take the child in for treatment, but going to pray over it, I think that the state has a right to override the parent, because to me that's just illogical, and it's not even biblical. It's just irrational. Sorry, guys. It's just irrational. But a parent might want to teach their child creationism, and the state. There might be interest groups who advocate the child's perspective, that they don't want to be taught creationism. In that scenario, that's nothing to do with medical health, but it could be argued it's psychological health. The child psychologically is not being brought up in a healthy way, and so child advocates could advocate that the parent needs to stop teaching their children about creationism. So, in other words, what I'm saying is, there's a fine line between protecting the child and yet other interest groups using the child's rights in order to circumvent the religious conscience of parents. So I think there's a fine balance, and I think that's what I think, and we have to be careful the way we go with this, and realise that there are interest groups trying to manipulate each other. What do you think? Let me know.